On number 10. Nico Robin vs Black Maria. Wano brought back the creepy Nico Robin, characteristic of the past. This time, however, the Straw Hat Crew's archaeologist pulled out her demonic side to protect her companions. The battle highlighted Robin's new skills. Cornered by Black Maria's techniques, Robin unveiled the real powers of her flower fruit, which she even combined with her newfound ability to perform Fishman karate-style palm strikes. Upon entering her demonio fleur form, Robin created a gigantic devilish clone of herself and inflicted a brutal beating on Maria. While Robin ultimately dominated her opponent, the effort needed to do that exhausted her to the point where she fainted. She also received Brooke's indispensable help. As the second strongest member of the Straw Hat Pirates, Roronoa Zoro typically interacts with the other crew's number 2s. Zoro met Killer, the Kid Pirate's second in command. Blackmailed with Kid's life, Killer had been forced to work as an assassin at Orochi's service. Concerning Zoro, he could only use 2 swords, lacking Shisui, his finest one. In the thick of the clash between Killer and Zoro, the green-haired pirate dodged the hit, but Killer exploited the temporary distraction to impale him. Despite the unfair plight, Zoro still proved his superiority. Gripping the scythe with his muscular strength, he stopped Killer from retrieving it. He then seized the weapon to use it in place of the third sword. Powerless in front of Zoro's armament Haki Am Tringoku Onigiri move, Killer fell, defeated. A dangerous scientist and zone fruit user, Queen was the third strongest member of Kaido's crew, making him the toughest enemy Sanji ever fought by himself. To complicate matters, the battle turned into a personal matter, as Queen personally knew Sanji's family. Initially, Queen overpowered Sanji, but the tables turned when the latter unlocked his genetical enhancements. Being tied to his Vinsmoke lineage, these upgrades caused Sanji to have an inner conflict. However, they also hugely boosted his combat prowess. Having obtained a stronger version of the Diable Jamb, the Ifrit Jamb, as well as a special exoskeleton, Sanji also began taking advantage of Queen's clumsy behavior, inflicting a brutal beating on the scientist. Despite being Kaido's spawn, Yamato started admiring Oden, to the point where she identified with the heroic samurai and instead despised his father. When Luffy and the others attacked Onigashima to overthrow Kaido, Yamato happily sided with them. As the events unfolded, Yamato ended up fighting Kaido. During the clash, both employed the all-powerful Advanced Conqueror's Haki, as well as the hybrid form of their respective mythical zone fruits. Yamato was able to hold her own against Kaido for a certain amount of time and remained in decent fighting shape even after the struggle. While it's clear that Kaido didn't go all out against her and still had the upper hand, Yamato's feat remains commendable, and so does her determination. After the confrontation on Onigashima's rooftop, Trafalgar Law and Eustace Kid challenged Charlotte Linlin once again. Confident about winning against the 2 worst-generation supernovas, Big Mom made a fatal mistake, underestimating the rookies. Law and Kid demonstrated the awakening of their devil fruits, the Ope and the Magnet, respectively, which allowed them to perform amazing techniques. Exploiting their numerical superiority, the 2 struck Linlin several times, injuring her. She endured the damage without ever losing consciousness, but the attacks pushed her into the void. Unable to ascend, Big Mom ended up being caught in a terrible explosion as some bombs dropped on her during the free fall into a subterranean erupting volcano. A mighty samurai intended to become Wano's next shogun, Oden became a pivotal member of Whitebeard's crew and later even joined Roger's. After completing his travel with the Roger Pirates, Oden returned home, aiming to finally open Wano's borders to the world. However, he found the country seized by the Beast's pirates and the Kurazumi family. Coating his 2 swords Enma and Aim no Habakiri with his powerful Haki, the samurai attacked the enemy's leader, Kaido. Oden fought on equal grounds with the pirate, even greatly injuring him. The samurai's ravaging Paradise Totsuka attack inflicted a grievous wound on Kaido, resulting in a permanent scar. Due to an unfair distraction, Oden ended up losing the battle, but his outstanding might left Kaido impressed like no one else's. Despite dueling several times, Roger and Whitebeard were on good terms, just like Shanks and Dracule Mihawk in the present time. The flashback of Kazuki Oden showed one of those fights, as, after a brief confrontation with the former, Roger clashed with Whitebeard. As the world's strongest man, his Naginata, Roger retaliated by drawing his sword ace. With their weapons imbued with Advanced Conqueror's Haki, the 2 clashed, generating enough power to split the clouds in the sky and blow their surroundings away. Roger and Whitebeard continued struggling for 3 days and 3 nights, with their crews doing the same. Eventually, the confrontation took a friendly turn, to the point where Roger asked Odin to join his crew for the final travel to Laugh Tale. As the loyal right-hand men of the respective captains, Zoro and King engaged in a thrilling showdown. Combining an ancient zone fruit with the unique powers of the Lunarian race, King could withstand Zoro's attacks without taking any damage, despite them packing enough power to injure even Kaido. One of Zoro's swords, Enma, started testing him during the battle, forcing the former to waste a lot of energy and leave himself open to King's pressing strikes. Still, the predicament enabled Zoro to gain awareness of the enormous natural-born power that lay dormant within him. Still, he was simply outclassed by Zoro's newfound Haki powers. Adding the advanced Conqueror's Haki to his highly developed color of armament, Zoro created the King of Hell style, a new Haki-based mode, in front of which his enemy stood no chance. In Wano, 5 young and powerful pirates, namely Luffy, Zoro, Law, Kid, and Killer, were emphasized as the strongest supernovas of the worst generation. Pushing aside their competitiveness, the rookies teamed up to challenge Kaido and Big Mom on Onigashima's rooftop. The fight between the worst generation's elite and the Emperors is famous among fans as Roof Peace. As the battle began, with a flawless combo, the supernovas pushed Big Mom off Onigashima. As Kaido knocked out Luffy with a crippling strike, Zoro gathered the last of his strength to use his 9-sword style. Ashura. Kaido endured the hit, but suffered a large cut, which left him with a permanent scar. Luckily, Luffy rose again, ready for the decisive round. The fight between Luffy and Kaido will go down as a major event in the series. On account of his unparalleled physical prowess, Kaido delivered some shattering blows that truly endangered Luffy's life, but, with the hopes of his friends' lives at stake, the young pirate didn't give up an inch. Luffy also achieved the awakening of his devil fruit, being able to use Gear 5, a form that granted him reality-shaping powers. Luffy and Kaido matched blow for blow, until when the latter generated a gigantic Conqueror's Haki-enhanced fire dragon, big enough to overlook his own Azure Dragon form. In response, Luffy combined the abilities of Gear 5 with the advanced versions of Armament and Conqueror's Haki. In a dramatic showdown, his Bajrang gun overpowered Kaido's Rising Dragon Flame Bagua, marking Luffy's unforeseen victory over the world's strongest creature.